Good afternoon, everyone. I want to continue the part 2 of this video. In the first part, we actually discussed how to securely access your application or database server that was sitting in your private subnet using your Bastion host without logging into your AWS management. And that is what we're going to do. The first part, we actually did everything through the management console. Today, we want to see how we can securely logging into the app database server in a private subnet without logging into AWS management console. So I have developed a simple Terraform template that will help to provision most of the resources we needed, like the VPC that we need for this particular project. The Terraform template we create, basically, if you look at this, is actually a template from the first one that we have two subnets. Actually, it will create two subnets, one public and one private, and using this Cidir block, okay, and it will create the route table that is required for those two subnets as well. We actually enable DNS name, which is actually not necessary in this case. The Terraform template will create an internet gateway. I'll show you the templates, and we actually provision two servers. So one is the Bastion host server that we're going to be using as a jumper to SSH into our AppDB server in the private subnet. So it created the Bastion host server and also the AppDB server. But one thing that is really very important or very necessary in this project is how we are able to configure our security group, because the Bastion host is going to be sitting in a public subnet, and in that case, we will be able to log into that Bastion host. But our app and DB server in a private subnet, the security group to be able to access that will be very much specific. At least when we get there, we'll be able to explain that better, because we want to be able to use security group differential to be able to do that, meaning that it will only allow traffic from the Bastion host server. And I was able to configure that within that Terraform template. So we don't really have to do anything. I'll show you. Let's go and look at the Terraform template I'm talking about. If you look at this Terraform template, now looking at the VPC we created, the first resources is to create a VPC using this Cidir block for it. And we create another, we have a public subnet here, and we have a private subnet here with those specified Cidir block, okay? And we have an internet gateway template within this Terraform. And we created, basically we created two route tables, one public route table and the other one is a private route table. And we created a route for the public. So this actually routes our public subnet to the internet gateway, if you look at it, so that it can allow internet to actually get into the server. And we associate, we did a subnet association at this level for both subnet association with the public route table and with the private route table. So that is how we actually design or create a template for the networking. And let's go and look at the EC2 paths. And this is what I'm talking about. So this is our Bastion host security group, which actually basically allow only traffic from port 22. But you will be able to go in from the internet. You see, this port is like doors that we have, is like door or entrance door to our server. So you can have as many door to your server. You can have door number 22, door 8080, which is usually used for Jenkins, or door 9100 for node exporters, whatever you want to use. You can have several doors opened within your server. But is it the best practice? Probably not. So for this, we're only keeping one door, which is door number 22 to our server. But this door, only it allows traffic to come in from everywhere. And that's why we have the egress here, or perhaps the Cidir block from the internet. Okay, for the egress, you allow to go to the internet as well. But on the part of the security group for our AppDB, it is very stringent. We have port 22 open too, but this will not allow traffic to come in from anywhere. No, it doesn't allow traffic to come in from the internet either. It only allows traffic to come in, as you can see, from the security group of the Bastion host. So this is how we specify that security group differential. So by this, the only traffic that can actually get in or walk through that door number 22 of our AppDB server must only be coming from the Bastion host. Every other things are shut down. So, and we see how this we're able to allow us to be able to access to it, because that means that we have to be able to access it into the into the Bastion host server. Then from there, we'll be able to see the door to the AppDB server to be able to get it. So now, since I've actually run this work, but if you are running, I'm going to share this on my GitHub, where you can actually clone or download this Terraform script if you want to run this, perform this project. So since I've done this, I'm going to just run. Let's go to our terminal this time around and do from here and run it. So I'm going to copy the path here. Let me come here and I'll do cd, and I'll just remove this so that this gives me the opportunity to quickly get into the environment, the directory where this was stored. So right here. So now, if I just do Terraform, okay, apply, -auto -approve, and you see that this will provision everything. As you can see, it's just going to create everything. You can see the plan. It gave you all the plan what it's going to create. We have a routable association. It actually started from creating the AppDB server, and down to we have here the Bastion host server as well. And let's see, has it created everything? So you can see that it's creating it. It's creating everything, and as soon as that's get created, we can actually log in to our Bastion host server. Okay. So in the meantime, I'm going to pause this video. I'm going to pause this video. Hopefully, it won't take long. I'm going to pause it. So we can see everything. Everything is done. We have 13 resources created. If you want to check which of the resources that was created, you can do Terraform show or Terraform states list that will list all the different resources that was created. Let's see. I'll do this. So we can do Terraform states list. Okay, so this will tell you all the 13 resources that was created. So we have the AppDB server, we have the Bastion host server, we have the internet gateway was created, we have the route, we have the private route table, the public route table, the two association, subnet association right here, and we have the security group for the AppDB server, and we have the security group for the Bastion host. We have the private and the public subnet as well with the VPC. So these are all the resources that was created from the Terraform. So now let's go ahead and log in to the Bastion host first and do some little configuration, basically creating a key pair that will allow us to be able to SSH into the AppDB server, because we have to be in the Bastion host environment to be able to gain access into the AppDB server. Otherwise, we'll not be able to. Remember that in the security group for the AppDB server, the only source that we have is from the security group of the Bastion host. So we have to be in the Bastion host to gain access. To gain access into the sorry about that. To gain access into the AppDB server. Okay, so let's go log into that right quick. Just want to keep this going. Okay. So right now, to do that, I'll just do Terraform show. All right. So the reason why I did Terraform show was to be able to get my IP address of the Bastion host server. So I'm going to need this public IP for the Bastion host server to be able to SSH into it. And if I go to my AppDB server, which is this one, I'm going to need not the public, but the private IP, because this server is actually sitting in a private subnet. So let's log in. I'm going to do the bash. All right. While I'm here, I'm just going to do cd to where I save my credential. So my credential is in my download, and within the download I get my credential directory there, where I keep all my credentials in. So once I am here, then I can basically log in into the Bastion host server. So we have SSH. All right. Now, right now, this is indicating my my key pair. I need my key pair that I use for my Bastion host. So this is my Bastion host server. So what's the key pair I use? I use this KP. Basically, that is the same KP that I use, but I'm going to change it when I want to log in into my AppDB server. So just please follow that pen. Okay, right there. Then the user, we're using Linux 2. So the user for Linux 2 is ec2-user. ec2-user. And this one adds now my IP address for my Bastion host. Not what's my public IP address for my Bastion host server, which is this. This is private. I need the public IP address. Remove, copy, and right there. Okay. Okay, something I copy something. I shouldn't. Okay, what is something? Oh yeah, I think I'm good. I thought that was wrong. All right. I mean, but remember, look at this is the IP for my Bastion host, not AppDB. So from here now, I need to create a directory because remember, for me to be able to log in into this server, I have to come to this environment where I have my credential. So I have to create a credential environment here in this server too, which will allow me, in other words, the key that will allow me to be able to open that door 22 in my IP AppDB server. So the very first thing for security purpose, what I like to do is to create a directory. I just make a directory where I'm going to use, I'm just going to call it my KP directory, where I'm going to be, or credential directory, whatever it is. So right here, make dir, okay, I'll just call this my credential. Okay? Then I'll just, okay, so I'll now cd into that credential directory and create a key pair. I'll create a key pair in this directory that will allow me to be able to SSH into the AppDB server. So now let's do that. So first cd into that directory, my create, I'm in there. Okay. So now in order to be able to create a key pair, okay, the very first thing we want to do is just let's first you use a Linux command known as vi. Okay. Then what is the name of the key pair I'm going to create? And I just call it this my kp, my kp.pen, my kp.pen. And just call it that via my kp.pen. Enter. So now I'm here. Remember, I have to scroll down to where my AppDB is. Okay, my AppDB is right here. Okay, but what security group did I use? I use this. So I'll go and copy the contents of this key pair, not security group. What key pair did I use? I use Ohio Jenkins-kp. So I'll have to go and copy the content of this key pair and paste it here. And that will make it possible for me to be able to log in to the AppDB server. So let's go ahead and do that right away. So I can just look at, instead of, I know where that is, I can just open git bash, just open git bash here, okay, and then cd to my download. Sorry, cd, download, then credential, all right here, okay. Now I know that my Ohio Jenkins KP is right here. I don't have to do anything. I just do cat, Ohio, that's Jenkins. Even if I do tab, it should be able to do no, it doesn't. That's it. Ohio Jenkins-kp. That's my KP. And just do this. So that is the content. So what I'm going to copy is this. I'm going to copy everything here. Be very careful that you don't get this doesn't get corrupted. I'll copy it to this section. See? We copy, oh no. I have to start all over. I'll just copy everything start. I'm not going to mess with it. So you just give me, copy it down. Then I can now copy this content, come here, do insert, and paste it. Okay, paste, escape, save, and quit. That's it. So once I've done that, this is very easy. Okay, once I've done this, I can escalate that key pair by using shmode to make sure that it's going to work properly. So basically what I do is shmode 400. Okay, and what is the name of my key pair? That'll be my kp.pen. My kp.pen. That's it. So from here now, I've done that. From here, I can SSH into my AppDB server in my private subnet. Let's do it. Okay. So all I do is that since I'm in this environment, do SSH. All right. Now, please don't get it twisted. What is my key name? It's no longer Ohio Jenkins. It is now my kp.pen. And that's what I'm going to put here. My kp.com. That's it. So now, but what user? I need to specify the user then, because for this AppDB server we use Linux 2. For Linux 2, the user is EC2-user. All right. So now, at what IP address am I going to use, friends? What IP? The IP address I'm going to use is not the public IP. Rather, I'm going to use the private IP because this server is sitting in a private subnet. So now let's go to our AppDB server. Right here, you can see it. So I'll look for, this is not the IP I'm going to use. I'm going to use the private IP. Remember, this server is sitting in a private subnet. So that is what I'll use. Enter, and you can say, yes. Now you are in your AppDB server. You've already logged in without going through the management console. We didn't go to the management console at all. So you can do everything from your terminal. And that is what we just did. So thank you very much. I hope this video helped some of you who are actually watching. Bye. What? Continue. You are still recording. There's something I forgot that I need to share with you. Let me go back and share that again. I almost forgot that completely. I'm sorry, guys. This is basically what we did. I have to go back and share that. Where is it? Right here. So if I'm not mistaken, this is what we did. We used Terraform to create our VPC. We used Terraform to create the subnets and all this. We used Terraform to provision everything. Okay. If you look at this, is just a simple, very simple architecture for what we just did. So this is our Bastion host, and this is our AppDB server. I'll call this AppDB server. Let me see. I can just let me put a name here inside. Where are you? Good. Let's do this. I'll do it again. I need something small. Okay, this is our AppDB server. Sorry, just no, it's not gonna work. Our Bastion host server. So this is just what I just want to share with you, friends. Now, okay. So if there is any question, please you can reach us at our YouTube channel, or you can give us a call at that number. All right. Hope you guys enjoy the video. All right. Bye.